Hey, I'm Battır and I'm from Mongolia. You can also call me your friendly neighbor, Batman. Okay, so I've been living abroad for quite some time, and I've noticed that for a lot of people, Mongols are like elves and dwarves. You hear about them in stories, but you don't see them. If you're one of those people who, by chance, by luck, got to see a Mongolian person and you'd like to, for some reason, try to build a relationship with that person, then you're at the right place, because in this video I'll give you 5 tips to have a successful date with a Mongolian person. Tip number 1. Step on their foot. But make it seem as if it's natural and if it will happen by accident. And make sure that the other person doesn't know that you were trying to do it. Make it subtle, okay? Just depending on the situation, you have to adapt, improvise, and overcome. But as soon as you step on the foot or feet, let's say, you have to give out your hand and say, I'm sorry, like, are you fine? And then shake their hand. I know that in times of COVID, it's a bit tricky thing to do, but they would appreciate it. Tip number 2. You step on the foot, you shake hand, you talk, and after having a conversation, let's say that you two are going somewhere outside, and you know that on the streets there are quite a lot of Poles out there. But by Poles, I don't mean Polish people, I mean the poles, as in the metal poles. So let's say that both of you are walking, and then there is a pole that is higher than both of you. Try to walk on the side of that person. Don't leave pole right in between you. Okay, but just for a bit of flavor, make it seem almost as if you're going to the other way, but then be as natural as possible. Flow like water, okay? Suddenly go around and then go with that person, because that will make them think, oh my god, that person is going to go the other way around. Oh, okay, no, he's going with me. So that kind of tension and relief might help you to have a successful date. Tip number 3. And this tip is related to how we were programmed since childhood. And in some way you can say that it's like hypnosis, because we are taught that if we see something, our mind should be triggered, and by default we are supposed to fulfill one function. And that state of mind is triggered by a pair of scissors. So what that function is, when we see a pair of scissors open and left somewhere like this, once we see that, we're supposed to go and then close these scissors, okay? And what you do is that when you're out on a date, or I don't know, somewhere hanging out with your friends or anything, like in a bar, it can be at home, and that Mongolian person is there, and ask one of your friends, colleagues, or acquaintances, or maybe barmen, to have a scissor open up and somewhere on the table, anywhere where that Mongolian person can see it. And then what you do is you observe the Mongolian person as subtly as possible, and as soon as the Mongolian person notices that there's a scissor open on the table, he or she, like 99.9% of the time, they would go for the scissors and try to close it. But you have to go in front of them and close it right before their eyes. Okay? That will leave a very good impression on them. But the thing is, if you do all of these things consecutively, then the person might start becoming a bit suspicious about your background, and he or she will ask, how do you know so much about our life? And to that you have to reply, this is the way. And the Mongolian person will say, this is the way. Okay, and tip number 4. Oh, by the way, what's your Chinese zodiac sign? And tip number 5. You know, I really enjoyed spending time with you, and I would like to meet you again if it's possible. So, if you don't mind, then you see, according to my schedule, let's see, this week no, next week on Saturday, I'll be free from 6 to 9 p.m. So we can meet at, let's say, 6:25 in front of the Brie. And yeah, see you there. Please, when you're making plans for the future, for unofficial meetings, try to be as vague as possible in the beginning and come to negotiation. And also leave room for any sudden events. Most of us don't like rigid plans, so please keep that in mind when making plans for the future. And thank you for watching. If you followed all these steps, then I would not guarantee that you'll have a successful date, but the person will appreciate your concerns and actions, that I guarantee. And if you like this video, please hit the like and maybe also subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And if you have any other questions, please leave them down in the comments below. And see you next time. Bye or bye. So if you follow all these tips, I don't guarantee that you'll have a successful date, because I've never dated a Mongolian person before.